Okay. So next up, Dan Rothschild. Dan, are you in the house?
In the house. Nice spelling there. Hello, everyone.
Greetings.
My business partner, Ken Doyle, and I have been working on a book for the last 2 years, and it was released 3 weeks ago.
Really?
Yes, it was.
Wow.
The name of the book is Urban Alchemy, Restoring Joy to America's Sorted Out Cities. And tonight, I'm going to tell you about it. Whether we like to admit it or not, our American cities still suffer by being sorted from race and class. And this book offers an optimistic view on how to change that. So if this was my Python, I'd be saying, and now for something completely different. Although it links into some of the things we heard before about immigration and also guerrilla urbanism. The book contains 9 elements of urban restoration. The first one is keep the whole city in mind. I'm going to go through all 9 elements and show you some examples. The city's like a body, and that means when all the parts are not working together, you suffer. So like when you get a rash on your skin, do you try to treat your skin, or do you try to think of what's causing that rash? Our urban neighborhoods suffer from that same malady. In this particular project, we were looking at a small little site right here in the middle of the Hill District, but we found that that little site actually connected to 2 neighborhoods, the Hill and the Uptown, and then those 2 neighborhoods actually connected to downtown in Oakland. So the idea was if we could make that little place good, it could have a resounding effect on the whole city. The second element is find out what you're for. Ultimately, in our cities, a lot of times progress is hindered by people just talking about what they're against. Finding what you're for is a much more optimistic viewpoint and allows you to take some of that power that usually is out of your control. We're working in Braddock right now where the main thing that they were fighting against was UPMC leaving the neighborhood. And we've been working with that community to find out what they're for. And what they're for is replacing that hospital with a new civic park. The third element is make a mark. Making a mark involves taking something that is theoretical and making it real. This has to do with tactical urbanism, that one that we saw recently. Make a mark is very effective because it empowers neighborhoods to make something happen. Perfect example, upper left-hand corner, when the city cleared the Lower Hill District for the Civic Arena, the neighborhood got together and said, we need to be involved in the process, but we're not at the table. They made a mark by putting up that famous billboard, no redevelopment beyond that point. That corner is now Freedom Corner. The fourth element is unpuzzle the fractured space. A lot of times neighborhoods that have been sorted by race and class are so devastated you can't even figure out what was it like before. It's like taking a jigsaw puzzle, dumping all the pieces on a table, and then throwing the box top away without knowing what the final puzzle looks like. In this particular project on Dinwiddie Street, it started out as a street that was completely dense with beautiful brownstones. But in 2009, when we started, it was like Grandpa's missing teeth. You couldn't even tell what was there. We filled in those spaces, and if you've been up Dinwiddie lately, it looks completely different.
Where's Dinwiddie?
Between Center and 5th Avenue, connecting those neighborhoods. The fifth one, unslum all neighborhoods. A slum is defined by Jane Jacobs as a place that you don't want to stay, okay? Many neighborhoods have this because they lack love, desire, respect. Unslumming is turning that upside down. This was an example in the Hill of trying to unslum by linking into the collective memory of the neighborhood by installing the names of all the jazz greats who grew up in the Hill District on a very casual building. I mean, it wasn't a water, transit, and everything not only affects Hazelwood, but affects the whole region, from downtown all the way up. Number 8, showing solidarity with all life. Our world is very diverse. Diversity is a big thing. Everybody's talking about how we connect diversity. We need to show solidarity because we need to negate fear. Somebody talked about fear earlier. When fear creeps in, it begins to tear apart neighborhoods. Showing solidarity with all life. This is a project. There's Ken. Hey, Ken. But we were studying the Panther Hollow watershed, and what we found out was that This neighborhood was more connected by its watershed than it was in the neighborhood boundaries that you know of Squirrel Hill and Oakland and the rest of the place. Last but not least is celebrate your accomplishments. We are on a very long journey as a society to make positive change. We need to slow down, create meaningful space to celebrate our accomplishments. This is a perfect example tonight. We all took our time out of our busy lives to celebrate our accomplishments. This allows us to share our stories, and this element supports the other 8. This is opening when we started the Hazelwood Project. We said we didn't have any money, we didn't know what to do. Why don't we have a party? So we had a party, we had bikes, we had food, and the neighborhood felt that something was about to change. Sophia's in there, she's pointing. So buy the book. It's for sale. I have